Phil and Debbie, wow, I can't believe this day has come. What a pleasure it has been to get to know both of you. It's so hard to put into words what you all have meant to our family. David and I knew you first as teachers to our children, Caitlin, Drew, and Grace, and we are so grateful for the academic foundation you provided for each of them, as well as an environment that made learning fun. You have both made a mark on our family, and we will always remember you fondly and as the excellent and caring teachers that you are. We are so grateful for your presence in our lives. And what a bonus for me that I have had the privilege of working alongside you here at Magellan. Your professionalism and student-first attitude shines through in all that you do.
This place will not be the same without either of them. And I will miss them both with all my heart. They taught my children, and they teach the children now in such incredibly wonderful ways. I caught my children checking out Miss Cain notebooks. When they were in high school and college, they were pulling out Miss Cain notebooks. They would never have been able to go as far as they did without her basic knowledge of math. And Mr. Bailey, oh my gosh, you are amazing.
I'm honored and privileged to have been asked to talk about working with Debbie and Phil over the years. I have the utmost respect for their dedication to the students in motivating and encouraging them to do their best. They truly enjoy teaching, it's obvious, and they have mastered the art of making learning inspiring and worthwhile. They actually inspire all of us. Debbie and Phil are such incredible role models, guiding our students in their journey to become what we hope will be lifelong learners. To me, they are also just wonderful friends, and I value this relationship. I look forward to staying in touch with them and hearing about their new adventures. If you ask Phil how he is, he often replies, "Never better." And what a wonderful, marvelous attitude. And so I pray that the never better days will continue for them both as we sail on together.
In one word, Phil is an icon. His captivating voice, his dedication and connection to his students, his mastery of the profession, his thoughtfulness, and his overall character make him a teacher that every one of us strives to be.
Mr. Bailey is going to be sorely missed by me for many reasons. Firstly, every morning when I walk in, he says good morning to me, which is just a great way to start your day. Sometimes I have a chance to have a chat with him and to get to know him as a person, not just as a teacher or as a peer, has meant the world to me because I enjoy him and his personality and his insight so very much.
I had the privilege of having Mr. Bailey as my cross-country coach in 6th and 7th grade, so going into 8th grade I was very excited to have him as a teacher, and he's just been amazing. He's helped me improve on all my skills in language arts, and mostly writing, so I'm very thankful to have him as a teacher.
All right, I'm going to try not to cry. What I miss most about Mr. Bailey is his willingness to make time for you. If you come in with a problem, he could just drop everything. And for a person like me with as many problems as I have, he dropped a lot of things for me. He even taught me how to tie my shoes once. And I was 34 at the time.
Room 215, where the sun is always shining, also known as Mr. Bailey's room, is a safe place full of positivity. Mr. Bailey isn't just a great teacher, but a great person, and he's very approachable. You know, if you need to ask a question, he's always there to answer.
When I think of Phil Bailey, I think of a model of professionalism and excellence. I know he's always been that for me, and I know many of his colleagues feel the same way.
Mr. Bailey has definitely changed my life these past 3 years. As a cross-country coach and as a teacher, he has inspired my love for learning, and also I definitely would not be the person I am today without him.
There's two things I will miss about Mr. Bailey. The first is that perfectly tied bow tie, because to me that knot represented Mr. Bailey in every sense of the word. He kept the team together. He knew exactly what was going on. Every single day, he knew what the students were supposed to be doing. He knew what the change in schedule was. He knew what meetings teachers had. And this leads me to the second thing, his calendar in his back pocket. No technological innovation can match the calendar that Mr. Bailey has, and we relied on it completely.
Mr. Bailey, I will always remember your contagious smile and how you brought happiness into every room you walked into.
When talking about Mr. Bailey, the things that I can remember, Coach Bailey is one of the guys that I can always depend on. He was always one that was willing to help. Some of you, most of you probably know him as our, of course, 8th grade language arts teacher and cross-country coach, but many of you may not remember or even recall Coach Bailey actually first became a coach with us as a girls soccer coach, and his teams did very, very well. In addition, he was also 1 year volleyball coach. Can you believe that? Coach Bailey is a volleyball coach? But he did really well there too. He gave me the impression when he took on the volleyball job that it was a 1 year and done deal. He was our first one and done coach. So I was only going to have him for 1 year. I had to find another one after that year. I didn't have to go far, let's put it that way, for volleyball.
Mr. Bailey is an incredible language arts teacher. Being in his class really helped me become more comfortable speaking in front of large groups of people.
Hello, Mr. Bailey. It has truly been an honor and a privilege to return to Magellan and to work alongside you here at the school as a teacher.
I have to say I've never quite had a teacher like Mr. Bailey. He was always so engaging when he would read to us. He was willing to read to us every day. And he would always, he was kind of willing to do what other teachers weren't, I felt like. I vividly remember us reenacting or reading out 12 Angry Men, kind of set up like their room was set up, and I thought that was really cool because it put us in that situation. And so Mr. Bailey was such a unique and exceptional and engaging.
My favorite memory of Mr. Bailey probably has to be after I graduated Magellan. For my freshman speech class, I interviewed him in an attempt to learn his story and help share it. I discovered an entirely new side of Mr. Bailey that I didn't know before, and it only made the man I already looked up to so much that much more inspirational.
He gives me a perspective on life and often makes me laugh, and those are some of the reasons why I enjoy coming to Magellan so much. It's just my friendship with Mr. Bailey.
Mr. Bailey, where to begin? I was just catching up on today's news and current events of the day, and I was thinking back to our time together in 8th grade when I remember distinctly you instilling in me a passion to stay connected with world events, to be an informed and engaged citizen, and ultimately to put my education to work to really make an impact as a leader in my generation. I think back to our time together learning grammar. I think back to sentence corrections. I think back to Little Brown. And I think back ultimately to just the incredible privilege that it was to be your student and to be your friend. And I'm forever, forever grateful for that.
Okay, Mr. Bailey overall, he's just a good guy. One of my favorite things about him is his passion for running. Personally, he passed that passion down to me, and I started to enjoy running. In cross country, he found the perfect balance between hard work and fun.
When we asked our children just recently what they remembered most, they had many things to say. Phil, they all immediately chimed in that they loved listening to you read each day, and they especially liked the different voices that you use to make the characters come alive. They enjoyed the Dr. Seuss poems and the photography project.
He's not only a great teacher, but he's also a great person. He's really understanding, and he makes everybody feel special.
Phil, you're an outstanding teacher who has given so much to so many Magellan kids through the years. But beyond that, you're totally a professional. Everything we ever asked you to do, you did with grace and dignity and with outstanding results. I think Teddy Roosevelt would easily be happy to call you a man in the arena, and I think you fit that definition so well.
My favorite memory of all, though, is hearing his strong voice intonation booming down the hallway while reading books like Shadow Club or reciting Jabberwocky.
Mr. Bailey has been my cross-country coach for 2 years, and I've had the privilege of having him as a language arts teacher this year.
He's always been encouraging me in my running and in school.
One of my favorite memories of Mr. Bailey is going to graduation and hearing his graduation speeches. He is such a storyteller, and just hearing those speeches and hearing his stories were always so inspiring and engaging.
He's an inspiration to all teachers and to all students. He teaches the students how to shake hands and how to say hello. I mean, he cares more than just about their academics. He cares about them as a whole.
One thing about him is during line drills, him and Mrs. Grant would always go around asking how you felt or how your weekend was. This showed just how much he cared about everyone. I knew I could rely on him. Maybe I was training for a half marathon, I could ask him for a training plan. He gave me my first training plan for my first half marathon, and it really helped me. It was a great plan for me, and overall, I think everybody really liked him. He was just an amazing coach and an amazing guy.
I'm definitely going to miss talking to you in the mornings about books, articles, and life itself.
Hey, Mr. Bailey. I know, probably surprised as I am to see me on the screen giving you a retirement video. But all jokes aside, I want to congratulate you on retiring. Magellan's going to lose one of the best teachers they've ever had. I'll never forget all the books you read and having the honor of changing the date on your whiteboard.
Mr. Bailey was the reason why my son Luke came to school every morning. Because Luke's not into academics, but he was in Mr. Bailey's first period class, and to get to hear Mr. Bailey read to him was a reason for him to get out of the bed quickly and get to school on time. And so if you can ignite that type of passion in a student, I think that makes you a miracle worker.
All three of our children felt like you really cared about them.
He was also, a great teacher of life, and that's kind of always been my impression of Mr. Bailey. I've had so many alumni, my friends or people, I see out on the street who talk about how on that first day of class, his teaching of how to do a proper handshake has totally changed their lives. And anytime I'm at Magellan to pick my younger sister up or just dropping by, he's always there to greet me, always asks how I'm doing, and you can see that he truly cares about me as an individual, and of course all of his former students. So
I received a letter from a parent that I wanted to share just a little piece of, if I could, about Coach Bailey. It kind of sums up what I consider of Phil as well. It goes that Mr. Bailey has taught my daughter to keep her perspective on winning and losing, to see the humor in a tough situation, to shake her head and walk away when she can't make a positive change, and to relish the changes along the way. This kind of goes into the makeup of Phil Bailey. He teaches and he coaches with everything he's got. He gives everything he has.
I will always be grateful for Phil's leadership and his willingness to step up and take the helm when I could not be at school.
Back at graduation in 2003, I remember that you gave me the honor of receiving the Abraham Lincoln Award. And Abraham Lincoln, during his second inaugural address, as you remember well, said, "With malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right as God gives us to see the right, let us strive on." And now it is my honor to give that back to you, Mr. Bailey, and ultimately to give you the Abraham Lincoln Outstanding Teacher and Mentor and Character Award, with all my thanks and gratefulness for all you've done for me.
Many people don't know it, but the first year at Magellan, we had a real issue with 8th grade math. We considered that to be such an important position as kids were moving forward into high school, and we knew we had a big void. Jeannie, my wife, who was a media specialist at Leesville Road, said right away, "I know exactly who you need. You need this person named Debbie Cain." Well, from that point forward, it became very important for us as a school to get Debbie to come and teach at Magellan. Frankly, it was probably the most important thing I ever did at the school in trying to recruit Debbie. Debbie, I remember telling you 3 things that were most important. when I was trying to give you the pitch, and they were all true. One was that we would compensate you a little better than Wake County did. I think we did that, but I know we didn't come anywhere near compensating you your worth. Secondly, I told you we would make your life at home better, that you would have more time, you would have less kids to service, and we would take away as much red tape as we could. I know we did that, although it probably got worse as years went by with state regulations. But given your work ethic, I don't know that we really gave you that much free time anyway. And thirdly, and most importantly, I told you we would give you a vehicle that would let you take kids to where you wanted to take them. That you had the innate ability and were trained and had the heart to take kids to here. And we would give you a vehicle to take them there. And that where you were prior to that, that vehicle was only down to here. So you would be professionally fulfilled. And I really, really hope you feel that you are. That was the idea, and I know for fact from all the wonderful things that all the kids have done all these years and will continue to do in their lives, there's just no doubt in my mind that you accomplished that mission. And I'm so happy for that and so happy for you.
Hi, Mrs. Cain. Thank you so much for being a role model to me and dedicating so much of your time to your students, as well as being able to accomplish so many other things in your life.
Hello, Ms. Cain. Congratulations on getting to this point in your career. What an amazing, amazing career you have had, touching the lives of so many students. And we just thank you for all that you have done for our Magellan community.
When I think about Debbie Cain, I think about a teacher who is a master of mathematics. When Debbie came to Magellan 20 years ago, she brought with her high standards and a passion for teaching math that is above all. Her caring spirit shows through on a daily basis in her classroom. She works her fingers to the bones to ensure all students succeed.
What I'll miss most about Ms. Cain is her willingness to give good advice. You come in with a problem and she would offer up something for you to try to do to make it better. She gave me a lot of advice, and I took most of it, or some of it, and I'm pretty sure it worked.
Simply put, Mrs. Cain is just the best math teacher I've ever had and probably ever will. She challenged me, but made me realize that even when it seemed impossible, I was capable of bettering myself always. She inspires me to be ambitious and passionate in everything I do, and I just can't thank her enough for making me the student and person that I am today.
Debbie, I'm going to miss my Tar Heel buddy. You're one of the hardest working people I've ever met. I'm so inspired by your patience, your dedication to your students, your passion for teaching, and your kind heart. I hope we can continue our football and basketball banter and maybe even catch a game or two in the future.
I think Miss Cain is really an amazing teacher because she always makes sure we're on task, and she explains the work and helps us understand the material so we are prepared for our next year of math in high school.
Miss Cain is an amazing teacher because she makes math interesting, and she's very enthusiastic and passionate about what she does. And she's very dedicated to helping and passing on all her little tricks for remembering and making sure that we understand what we learn.
What I will always remember Miss Cain for is how every year on my birthday she would bring her class in and lead them in the happy birthday song. My first year that I was here, Miss Cain was so kind to me. She was helpful. She helped me learn the ropes, and most of all, she made a great counselor because she never charged me.
Debbie, all of our children love math and say that you made math fun. Caitlin enjoyed how personable you were, and she really enjoyed the daily updates of Clay Aiken on the American Idol show. Drew said you were the one that made him just love math, and he is graduating from college this weekend with a degree in mechanical engineering. They all agreed you provided an excellent foundation in math that equipped them to be successful in high school. And Grace added that she enjoyed your preparation for high school stories and has never forgotten them.
You've shown me what a strong, independent woman looks like, and those are lessons that have exceeded far beyond the classroom.
Happy retirement, Miss Cain. Thank you for everything you've done for me. You're a great teacher. I would not be an engineer today if it was not for you.
Miss Cain has been a mentor to me for the last 7 years here at Magellan. She's been able to help me raise the bar on my expectations of what I should be able to do and what my students should be able to do. She's been an excellent sounding board for me whenever I've had questions about how to teach something or if I'm teaching it the right way. I've always been able to walk down to her room at any time, even though she is buried in a mound of papers back there, working 17 things at one time. She always stops with a smile and answers my question and helps me out. She makes me feel like I know what I'm doing, which is a big step.
Third period math, we were doing Barbie bungee jumping to show parabolas, how Barbie would jump off, go on rubber bands, and come back up, as she was bungee jumping. And we put Barbie on top of a building, or a bookshelf, before she fell, attached to rubber bands so she wouldn't die. And Miss Cain wasn't tall enough to reach the bookshelf, so she had Beckett do it. So Beckett stands up on the chair and has Barbie up on the bookshelf, and he's holding her. Big countdown, 3, 2, 1, drop the Barbie. And Barbie fell backwards and hit the bookshelf. And it was pretty funny. I mean, it wasn't that funny, but Miss Cain was laughing so hard. And we couldn't tell if she was being serious or not, but her laughter was so contagious. It was so funny. We just laughed the rest of the class.
Ms. Cain knows how to make learning math fun and personal for her students. She loves to share her stories about her friendship with Clay Aiken and him becoming a star on American Idol. Students have enjoyed those stories through the years. Probably one of the biggest memories her students will have, and I have, is how she would teach mathematics through music, especially formulas. So I remember above all else the slope-intersect formula, where the students would sing the YMCA song with y equals mx plus b. So it was never unusual to walk by when they are taking their EOGs and see the kids trying to sneak a Y and an M in while they were taking the test.
Cain is a really special teacher to me because she has inspired me and made me enjoy math a little bit more with each lesson that she teaches us.
Ms. Cain always pushes me and helps me do my best, and she always gives me tips on how to study, and I love her formula songs.
You know, when I think back to my 8th grade year here at Magellan, I never had you as a teacher. You may remember that 8th grade year I ended up having class with Miss Sakash. So I never had you as a teacher, but one of the things that I'll always remember is, even though I was not one of yours, you always made me feel welcome in your classroom. You always took the time to talk with me outside of class, and I will always appreciate that.
What she's done for my daughter is she ignited a love of math. When my daughter left her class at the end of her 8th grade year, she went on a math journey and she hasn't stopped, and it started in that classroom. Maybe it was the type of math that she was finally getting to use, but I think it had a lot to do with Miss Cain's pushing her and her expectations of her that ignited that love for her. So I will forever be grateful to Miss Cain for what she's done for not only me, but for my daughter.
Hi from New York City, Mrs. Cain. I am so happy to wish you well and to say thank you for the incredible mentor, advocate, teacher, and friend you have been in my life ever since we met back in 2002 and 2003 over at Magellan on Forum Drive. And I remember distinctly you coming to the classroom every single day with a sense of dedication, a passion, and a sense of really committing to each student to help them along their journey in Algebra 1. And I remember our Idol updates. I remember cheering on Clay together as he went through American Idol. And what an honor to be together during such an exciting time. And most importantly, I remember the sense of confidence that you instilled in me. Someone who came to your class with struggling with math and it not being my favorite subject, and by your dedication every single day, day in and day out, you instilled in me a sense of self-belief and confidence, and that has carried me through to this day. And I could never express fully in words how grateful I am for that.
Going in 8th grade, I was really scared of Miss Cain. Today, I am still very scared of Miss Cain, but she's a great teacher and she's made learning fun for me and makes math easy.
The amount of time and effort that you have put into teaching us has really paid off, and because of it, you are one of the best math teachers I've ever had.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey, for everything. You'll truly be missed, and you're the bee's knees.
Mr. Bailey is just such a unique teacher, but not only a teacher, but a teacher of life. And I will always be thankful for his impact on me.
I consider myself and our school a much better place because Phil Bailey was here.
I'd like to congratulate you on retirement, and I hope you don't forget about me. Thanks for all that you've done.
Thank you, Phil, for all you've given to all of us.
I think it is only fitting to end with a quote from The Outsiders. Stay gold, Mr. Bailey.
Thank you for all the happy memories and for always caring about how I'm doing.
Mr. Bailey, I wish you the very best. I hope that you will have a relaxing and fun retirement. We will miss you here at Magellan, and we really appreciate your service to our school. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bailey.
Mr. Bailey, you'll always be an inspiration and role model to me, and I can't thank you enough for making me the student I am today.
We, the Haleys, wish you all the best in all your endeavors going forward. Take care, my friend.
Coach, good luck to you. Gotta run.
Thank you, Mrs. Cain. I'll miss you.
Thank you, Mrs. Cain, so much for everything you've done for me over the years.
Take care, my friend. It has been truly an honor and a privilege. And on behalf of Jeannie and John III and Drew, we wish you absolutely nothing but the very best. Take care.
Thank you, Mrs. Cain. You've helped us so much in math. We'll never forget you.
Thank you once again for your service to our school, for dedicating all these years to Magellan students. We really appreciate it. I hope that you have a awesome retirement, and we wish you the very best. We hope that you will stop by often, and best of luck.
Thank you so much for everything you've done. I hope your retirement is one filled with happiness and relaxation. You really deserve it.
Debbie Cain, we are so grateful for all you have given to the students here at Magellan and to the school as a whole.
We will so miss both of you, but actually, we're not letting you go.
Best wishes in retirement. We all love you both. Godspeed.
I wish you well on behalf of all of the students at Magellan. I am so honored to express my thanks and gratefulness for all that you've done. And please keep in touch.
I wanted to say thank you. Thank you for teaching my children. Thank you for teaching me. And thank you for teaching the children at our school. We all have learned so much from you. Enjoy your time. We'll miss you.
I wish them all the best and Godspeed.
Debbie and Phil, as we send you off to do new great things in your lives, I think maybe the old Irishman summed it up the best. May the road rise to meet you. May the winds be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face and the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold each of you in the palm of his hand. Take care, good friends.